So are we a republic or a democracy? I get comments like this all the time, so I wanted to address it. I have to say, when I read comments like this one, I kind of chuckle because this guy's saying there's a big difference between a republic and a democracy. But I bet you if I were to ask him what these big differences are, he probably wouldn't be able to tell me. And you know why? We're both. Now, democracy comes from the Greek words demos, which means people, and kratos, which means power. And it basically means that people make the rules. Now, we're not a pure democracy, which means that all of the people make all of the decisions together all the time for obvious reasons. Pure democracies no longer exist. I also wanted to point out that if we were a pure democracy, Trump would not have become president because he lost the popular vote. Now, many politicians, and with them many less informed people, are using James Madison's disdain for democracy. He actually accused his enemies of being pro-democracy as a proof that we're not a democracy. But what James Madison was referring to is a pure or a direct democracy, which, as we've already said, we are not. We've never been a direct democracy. We never will be. Those even no longer exist. Now, what we are, for sure, is another type of democracy called a representative democracy. Every so many years, we send lawmakers to Washington, D.C., and within our own state, following our own rules, we send lawmakers to whatever our state capital is, and they do the same thing. They make laws. So does that mean we're not a republic? No, we're also a republic. Republic comes from two Latin words, res, which means thing, and publica, which means public, of the people. Everything belongs to the people, in contrast to places where, like a monarchy, for example, where things belong to the monarch and are lent out or rented out to everybody else. And once again, in a republic, just like we have the Senate in Rome, we have people, lawmakers, that are elected by us and entrusted with making decisions, rules, laws that are in the best interest of the politi, of the people. And more specifically, we're a constitutional republic because we have a set of fundamental rules, the Constitution, that every other rule needs to be in harmony with. Not every democracy, not every republic has a written constitution. New Zealand, Israel, Canada, they don't have written constitutions. We do. Now, when people are focusing on democracy versus a republic, what they're doing is they're focusing more on the aspect of democracy itself, which is the ability for everybody to be represented. This is a representative democracy. Or they focus on the Republican side, on the Republic side, they focus on the existence of fundamental rules, the Constitution, which every other rule stems from. Now, when politicians tell you that we're not a democracy and they feed you that line, they know exactly what they're doing. They know very well that we are a democracy. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to prime you to stop thinking of the United States as a democracy, to remove that element of democratic lawmaking, which is everybody gets a say. And when you remove that concept from the people, disenfranchising becomes a lot easier and gerrymandering becomes a lot easier. So the reality is that the answer to the question, are we a republic or are we a democracy, is only one, and that answer is yes, we are. I hope this helps.